Alright, honor turn 34, winter in the year 2. Year 2, right? Yeah, year 2. And big news. I swapped some gems with Abyssia. I got 10 water gems and I gave them 10 pearls. The god of Ashdod cast Eyes of God, which is a very interesting choice for him. He's being invaded by two nations right now, Tianxi and Abyssia, so he might just lose outright, or someone needs to cast the, there's a spell that directly counters the Eyes of God. It's a fire spell, and it breaks the enchantment and also blinds the mage who cast it, so there's plenty to do that. I cast fires from afar, I hit the enemy army, but I didn't actually kill anybody, so it didn't work. I cast Dark Knowledge and found the Well of Pestilence in Jintmark that I knew I would find. So, there it is. Can't really use it. I found 2 magic sites in Temiglia. A maze that gives me 2 pearls per turn, and the Fields of the Fireflies, which gives me 1 fire and 1 nature. So my gem income is pretty solid at this point. He's gonna move over there. I searched Steppe of Wild Horses for magic sites, but didn't find any. There was a battle in Imane. This is the forces of Shinuyama moving in and just wiping out a couple of my Heelot warriors. That is most of the army that was chasing Aristotle's force. They split, came down here, instead of continuing to pursue me. Our undefended province Griffa was also conquered. They moved a few troops and I think 1 sorcerer up in here. This is 3 sorcerers and 1 oh, what are they called? 1 Uba, who is scripted to howl and is carrying nature gems and a thistle mace. And this is just random units and I think 1 sorcerer. But the big news this turn, the big news for me is the battle at the fortress of Shinuyama. So we're all set up, I've got my communion ready. My masters are all standing next to each other, which is a little bit of a weakness actually. We're getting my communion mastery, my communion slaves, all of that good stuff. We've got our iron skin, our temper flesh, our air shield, all up on the slaves. Most of my masters are fairly well defended, except that guy who got aced by a shot to the head. We summon our fire elementals. Inside the fortress, we've got 2 Bakemono sorcerers, 3 Ubas, who can, to some extent, summon elementals and have summoned a couple of water elementals. And that's about it. 1 sage. He must have gotten this sage from a random event, because I have not found a place he could have recruited them. I mean, I guess maybe there's a library somewhere in Shinuyama's territory, but I haven't seen it yet. And he has a few Dai Bakemono left. Mostly badly injured. He's also got his wall defenses, which are also Dai Bakemono, and 1 Bakemono General. So, summoning fire elementals, we've got a Shadow Blast incoming, lots of arrows. I cast Howl for a change, and the fire elementals charge in to fight the Dai Bakemonos, and Dai Bakemonos are going to have a bad day fighting fire elementals. Dropping a few lightning bolts, can't drop thunder strikes because I don't have the gems for it. And my oppressors up here did get quickness cast on my Phlegran Tyrant, Slab Brickjaw, and on my Gigante warriors, so they are all quickened. We're dropping damage spells. We did get 1 Thunder Strike there, throwing some Acid Rains. That Earth Elemental is taking damage. My Fire Elementals are doing pretty solid work. Slab Brickjaw charges forward to fight this Earth Elemental. Recall, this is how everything went badly last time, but right now he's at Protection 32. So he can take damage from being trampled, and he is bleeding profusely at the moment, but he's Protection 32, he's Flesh-tempered, he's fire-resistant, he has his fire shield, he's Berserk, he's a tough cookie right now. Full disclosure, I did not realize that Tyrants were still trampleable by Earth Elementals. That was something I definitely overlooked, and so I take full responsibility for all of my Tyrants dying so easily to those Shinuyama and Earth Elementals. That is definitely something I'm going to have to take into account moving forward. My mages are Blade Winding, taking out some of the enemy elementals. Thunder Strikes still wiping out others of the enemy. My wolves back here are performing great harassing action, and the enemy Skelespam is all kind of bogged up trying to deal with the wolves, as are their sorcerers. And here come my Tyrant and the wolves. My fire elementals are hung up dealing with the walls, but the tyrant backed up by the wolves has an extremely good matchup against the Skelispan because they can't surround him. So we've got blasts coming in, magic flying on all sides, mainly just damage spells. My archers are now coming into melee, but it's over at this point. The skeletons are already gone. My archers have been etherealized, interestingly. Somebody's been casting body ethereal persistently onto my archers, which is pretty cool. And then my hordes of chaff, backing up my actual troops, swarm in, murder the mages, and it is all over in Shinuyama. That went more like I wanted it to. We picked up a Skull Staff, an Amulet of Resilience, and a Girdle of Might. My Tyrant got 25 kills. My Oppressors, I did lose one to a Stray Arrow because I didn't have him buffed. But that was a considered risk that I took, and I'm not worried about it. And I lost a few Healet Archers and Warriors. 24 of my units did retreat, so some of my Healet Warriors ran, but that's fine. The enemy, of course, lost 2 Sorcerers, a Sage, and 3 Ubas, plus all their units. So, we have now captured Shinuyama. Interestingly, so we've got Mount Shinuyama, which is also giving us 5 extra gems per turn, 2 of which are death. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Interestingly, there is some kind of a bug in this game that other people who have captured capitals have noticed. You can recruit Lion Tribe at every capital. And I don't know why. I don't need them. They're not valuable. But they're an option. You can recruit Lion Tribe, and you can recruit Lion Tribe warriors. So I guess if I ever need worse Healets, that is an option that I have. They actually cost more gold than Healets, hilariously. Yeah, so those are there. In any case, I am going to start recruiting mages. Probably just sages to start off with in Shinuyama. And then some infantry to replace some of the lost infantry. Other messages. There was another battle in Ermor. Ermor attacked the Agarthan siege force once again with his huge pile of archbishops and his infantry and all. This little slugfest has been going on for several turns now, and Agartha cannot close the deal. They can't quite manage it. He's hired some mercenary pikeneers, he's got his skeletons, he's got his golem crafters and all. He's got just only a few Shard Guard left. And the undead are going to advance, and look at this. This is interesting. The Archbishops of Eldragate are going in. They're going in, like, melee-wise, a bunch of them, along with the Lictors and all. He's throwing another bolt, he's dropping Protection of the Sepulchre on everyone, and yeah, the Archbishops are just charging. Why are they doing that? Well, because they have a Rod of Death attack that is armor negating. It ignores armor completely. So, this may be why he was summoning those guys in the first place. These 4 brave Lictors, that one Lictor is going to get absolutely riggedy wrecked. These 4 are going to swing around to the back, take out a couple of mages, and then they're going to come up here and fight these Sentinels, which I don't imagine will go great for them. Sentinels can hold off Lictors. The undead are meeting with the pikeneers and all that, but look at this. The Archbishops of Eldragate swarming up the flank, doing armor negating damage with their hits. They actually have decent stats. And they have a chill aura. And they've been quickened because, of course, they are sacred, so they have that blessing. Magic weapons, quickness, magic resistance, HP, regeneration, and fortitude. So, hilariously, the Archbishops of Eldragate are actually kicking the crap out of some troops in melee. These Lictors are holding back all of these statues. All of these statues are busy at the moment, and statues or sentinels are still vulnerable to being frozen, so a bunch of them have been frozen by the chill aura of the Lictors. In the front lines, meanwhile, the Archbishops have finished off enemy infantry. The Agarthan infantry is gone. The Archbishops are going to come in, and look, they can land hits that really badly hurt Sentinels because of their armor negating damage. Now, they die like flies, but they take the Sentinels with them, which is more than anyone else has ever been able to do. The Censors can also do it to a degree, but they don't have armor negating weapons with their battle axes. This Censor has been very badly mutilated. So, despite all their magic, the Sentinels are actually kind of getting wrecked, and now the Agarthan mages are on the front lines. And in mage versus mage melee combat, I'm sorry, but the Archbishops of Eldergate win. So, the Agarthan armies rout, and the Archbishops swarm forward and finish off the Sentinels. So, Agartha lost. They lost half of their gem golem crafters. They lost all of their sentinels, every single one. All of their pikeneers and all of their shard guards. And Ermor has busted out. And of course, they're spawning more undead here. So, like, woof. They're not gonna hold it, but they've temporarily broken out. To be honest, I'm happy about this. I'm happy about this because it's keeping Agartha from getting too powerful, because Agartha already has Agartha. They already have Phasia, which is an extremely powerful and an extremely profitable city that also gives them a bunch of gems. They're going to have Ulm, which is, once again, a capital that's extremely profitable and gives them gems. I didn't really want them to have Ermor too. I feel like 3 capitals is probably enough. To be fair, I also have 3 capitals at this point, but I feel like I deserve it because I should win. And Agartha is a little bit too big and a little bit too powerful for comfort. We've been friendly the whole game, which is nice, but we are definitely going to go to war at some point here, and I would rather they not have that when we do. Now, Pythium has 2 capitals. I would be okay with Pythium taking Ermor, to be honest. If we look at, not messages, if we look at Pythium here, magically speaking, Pythium doesn't actually have death. They may have independent death mages, but their national mages don't even have death magic. So given that, they've got astral, they've got water, they've got air, and they've got a little bit of fire. Sometimes. But mostly it's astral, air, and water. So given that, I'm okay with Pythium getting access to death gems, because they can't hardly use them. I mean, they can, but mainly much less efficiently than Agartha can, because, of course, Agartha... Where's Agartha here? There it is, secular humanism. Agartha has the Oracles of the Ancients, which can random death too. And they have special death summons that are quite efficient. They're pretty effective, to be honest. Now, they can only be summoned in the capital, generally speaking, but even so, I'd rather Pythium get a hold of, because Ermor's capital gives you like 9 death gems. It's a high income of only death gems. So given that, I'd rather Pythium got it. To be fully honest, I'd rather I got it, but I don't have any chance of getting over there in time. Unless possibly, if I utterly abandoned fighting Shinuyama and just marched my armies single-mindedly through Vanheim to attack Ermor, I could probably get there, but there'd be no point to it. Other messages. Didn't try to break out this turn in my capital, of course. There was a battle in Dry Fields, where my army wiped out a small province. A battle in Steppe of Wild Horses, where wolves attacked me. Now, this happened to be right where all my people still were, so it was a bad place for wolves to attack, which is lucky because this was like the biggest wolf attack event I've ever seen. This was a big wolf attack event. Unfortunately, I have 4 shackled mages here and no Trophimos oppressors. So I don't think. Yeah, so the shackled mages are just casting their own spells. But I do have Pronos, Pronos the Mutilated, and I have HULK SMASH Puny Humans. So they're all casting buffs, the wolves come swarming in. The wolves actually reach me before Pronos can finish his buff cycle. So I think he hasn't hardly cast anything on him. And the wolves rapidly try to eat into my infantry. They do take casualties doing it, but they get it done. My shackled mages are throwing little, almost worthless spells until they draw the attention of the wolves, and then they are rapidly devoured. We've got some phantasmal warriors over here. The regular wolves have routed, the dire wolves are sticking it out, but they then quickly rout too, because even dire wolf morale ain't great. However, despite them routing, I still lost 3 shackled mages. This guy is going to die of poison before he can manage to get off the battlefield. Yeah, there he goes. So, that's a pain in the butt, but it's not that bad. I mean, look at that, 85. 23 dire wolves, 60 regular wolves. They massacred my infantry in no time flat. It's a darn good thing I had my Drakon there and my Tyrant. Otherwise, I killed a bunch of scouts. In Korbark, independent barbarians attacked Shinuyama and won. Also, Slab Brickjaw now has heroic quickness, which is a fantastic special ability. He just has quickness now, I believe. Well, no, it increases his combat speed. I don't think it actually gives him the ability quickness, but so it doesn't. I don't think it doubles his attacks. That would be a little bit silly, but it does. It does give him extra speed. I forged a pair of earth boots. I have a lot of magic items sitting around at this point, including 2 skull staffs. I'm going to have him dual wield maces of eruption right now. He doesn't really need the shield, I don't feel, and I think more damage output would be better. For the staffs, Slab Brickjaw is actually Death 2. So he can cast death spells. I don't have the... There's a death spell called Summon Spectre that summons a spectral mage that's a death mage that also has a couple of randoms. Could be useful. And in particular, could be useful because they have astral, and so I can link them into communions very, very easily. It requires death 3, which means Slab Brickjaw can cast it if he's holding a skull staff, but he can't right now, obviously, because he's busy. What I'm going to do is... that army should be relatively simple to deal with if I have infantry, which at the moment I don't. All I have is some archers. I need to stop recruiting those guys, actually. 3 resources versus 10 resources. I think I actually am going to recruit Lion Tribe warriors. Just because I need bulk. Well, actually, tell you what. Because I'm short on gems. The only gem I'm not really, really short on right now is water gems. I've got some nature gems as well. I could awaken some vine men to serve as chaff. Or I could summon some horned serpents. Let's summon horned serpents. Vinemen. Meluha already has all the gems he needs, so Vinemen. Vinemen. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to have Slab capture slaves. We're not going to recruit these guys because they suck and we hate them. Instead, we're going to recruit these guys. This army so far has been moving around, and right now I have them ordered to go over to Lapintha and besiege the fortress, which does not have much by way of troops in it. What I would like is... I would like... Leave him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's take, not slab, let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 communion slaves, 3 Trophimos oppressors over here. And make sure they have all the troops. Yes, I'm bringing Elizanese with me. Okay. Trying to think of how I want to do this. Actually, I know what I should do, and I know what I should have done. Oh, do I not have it? Do I not have... I don't have it. Phlegra does not have the spell Sow Dragon's Teeth. Aww. Well, that sucks. I thought I had it. Sow Dragon's Teeth is a spell that lets you spend 1 Earth Gem to summon 10 really tough chaff units. Really tough hoplites, basically. Apparently, Mekone can cast it. Apparently, Phlegra cannot cast it because I thought it was in Enchantment 6. Yeah, and it's not there. Huh. Okay, then. I can, however, enliven statues. Living statues are good. As are the hidden spells. Hidden in sand, hidden underneath. Which Slab could cast if he was wearing earth boots. Right now I have 5 earth gems. That would make it 11. I'd have to do a little bit of alchemy. But I guess I'm not really using my water gems right now, am I? Hulk Smash, don't move. Claim this throne, please. We've searched for magic sites here. We're going to claim the Iron Throne. We need to build a lab, which means we can stop recruiting these guys down here. We don't need them. We can stop recruiting these guys down here. We don't really need them. Let's have you build a lab. And next turn we'll get started on a fort. I don't know why both these guys are in one province. I could have sworn I didn't give that instruction. But, okay, that's right, we have the Banefriar Brazier down here. You just retreated. Why don't you move up towards that way? You're sneaking. So, my plan for this turn. I'm recruiting dudes down here that I don't need to be recruiting, so we'll stop that. I got kind of halfway through my moves before I decided to pull this up. We are going to keep recruiting the Heavy Cav right there, because I like Heavy Cav. I want more Heavy Cav. We're still patrolling, still killing scouts over here. How many slaves do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more turn. Research. One more turn, and then we will recruit a couple of Trophimos Oppressors here to form the nucleus of a defense squad. Yeah, we're still recruiting lizards here in the Forbidden Forest. And we're recruiting shackled mages here in Delca. Now, this army is potentially an issue, because, of course, he's moving down on Forbidden Forest. And Forbidden Forest is not terribly well defended at this time. Yeah. Well, we're gonna bust out of here. So what I need to do is I need to get some people here to defend. So actually, you just research. Actually, just move with the communion. Why don't I just move the whole communion, just for ease? So if this army moves up north again in an effort to re-secure this province, my communion will show up there and bash them. This province also has astral and earth income in a pretty big way, so I want to keep it. But Slab Brickjaw definitely needs to spend a couple turns churning out some slaves, because I am short. We're going to get Protos up here. He'll be able to equip some magical items. He is only a Death 1, so he won't be able to do great death stuff. And, since he still has the Never Healing Wound and he's lost an arm, he will not be able to go into combat. However, he is still a Fire 3, Earth 3 mage, and if we put Earth Boots on him, he'll be Earth 4. That will be extremely useful since this army is mostly Die Bakemono. If we make them try to siege a fort, then it's going to be interesting. I think we can hold it if they try to siege the fort. We're moving both of our mages from here over into Forbidden Forest. Won't be enough to let us set up a good communion. Actually, if we get our recruitment off, it will. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... No, we'll have 6 slaves. So we'll be able to boost him up to level 3. Well, that's something. Actually, probably it'll be... What we'd do is we'd do 5 slaves. We'd make one of them a master as well. And we would cast Earth Power Howl round 1. Yeah, we can do something with that. We can work with that. Also, we're moving all these guys up here, so that'll be... Yeah, we have enough slaves. We have enough slaves to form a communion, and we have 3 more masters right there. Leprosy... I'm not sure if I want to risk leprosy. I mean, he can Skeleспam, which is helpful. But really, I want him just still walking around site searching, to be honest. I guess over here we've searched most places. Yeah, okay, leprosy, move up there. Join the crew. Can you cast any, like, super powerful spells? Not really. You could create another Revenant. But yeah, get into the fortress, and we'll do what we can do there. I have enough death gems to pull some nasty tricks if I need to. This army is, I'm certain, going to try and move away. Either that, or he's going to just stand here and accept death, because that's the only other option he's got. Why are you researching? Why are you researching when you have fire gems? Break the siege. You're going to summon fire elementals with the best of them. We're going to summon a bunch of elementals. This force alone would probably be able to win, with the number of fire elementals it can summon. Adding this is just kind of overwhelming force. To be honest, I almost want to move away with this army, but what I don't want is I don't want this force getting loose, because it is a significant force. I mean, they've still got like 3 Daibakemonos and, I'm sorry, 3 Bakemono sorcerers and an Uba here, who has enough gems to Howl one more time. That's why I'm bringing this in, because I need him to counter Howl in order to keep his Howl from really hurting me badly. So, yeah, if he tries to move away, he's going to run into 21 province defense, and that will expend gems, and then I'll be able to chase them down. When they don't have Howl, they'll be relatively easy to handle. But, yeah, Electos, by the way, since I'm thinking about it, Electos already has shoes, but he should get one of these lodestone amulets. He should get the shield and an amulet of resilience. Actually, since I know he'll be facing primarily Skeleспam, Slab, give one of those back. You can have a Frostbrand instead. It's more likely to be useful in your situation. And Electos can have a Mace of Eruption. There, Reinvigoration 8. That'll be fine. And actually, instead of the Boots of the Messenger, he has Earth 3. What if I gave him Earth 4? What cool things could Electos cast? Right now he's summoning fire elementals, but with Earth 4 he could drop Curse of Stones. Actually, with Earth 4 he could drop Earthquake. To be honest. With Earth 4, I could legitimately just send him out, have him Earthquake, have him summon Earth Power, Earthquake twice. He would spend like 8 or 10 gems, and then run away. Or, I could give him I could have him Shadow Blast, but the undead are immune to that. I think the fire thing is probably best. Yeah, Iron Skin, Phoenix Power, Fire Elementals, and then he will advance and cast spells. So he'll buff himself as he advances as well. Yeah, and with his Reinvigoration, he's not going to go down. He's going to have at least the Iron Skin up. Should also temper flesh at some point, so he'll be fine. And he's got 5 Gigantes guarding him. So Electos will be alright. We will definitely break the siege. There's no way this little force can stand up to this and this together. Either they run or they die. If they run, like I said, they might run backwards into this, in which case they will lose, because I'll spam out a whole bunch of air elementals. Let me check to make sure it's... Oh, nope, he's still on Summon Lesser. Don't do that. Summon full-size air elementals, please. Yes, there we go. This guy is casting Destruction, which is fine. That'll hurt the Daibakemon. Actually, Destruction is irrelevant for this battle. Because he doesn't have many Daibakemonos left. So just... I don't think he has Fire Gems. Yeah, just acid rain, I guess. And you're doing full-size air elementals. You're doing air elementals. That should be a... I don't know why that's a lesser. That should be a full-size. Yeah, with all those air elementals and the howl that I'll have going off, and as many troops as I have with flaming arrows, I would crush this army with this force alone. To be honest, I don't even really need to break the siege with these guys, because this army will take care of them. So, what if I just had these guys research for now? Electos sadly can't capture slaves while he's trapped in here. But he could cast some kind of summon, I guess. Don't really need to, though. So, yeah. I don't need those fire elementals, to be fully honest, because that's at least 9 or 12 full-size air elementals backing up a significant number of infantry. Like 200 troops, all told. Backing up, and then evocations. And I have Howl going on. I don't need these guys. So I'm actually going to take these gems off. Put them back in storage, so they could be used for things. With 11 fire gems, is there anything I want to spend them on right now? Not really. I would rather just research, I think. I will have Electos break the siege, because he's bringing a bunch of troops with him, and that can't hurt. So, Electos, you break the siege, and you summon fire elementals and then go into combat. That'll be fine. Over here I'm a little more worried about, but I will have enough mages inside the castle to make storming it absolute hell. So I'm not, honestly, too worried about it. Talimanes, unfortunately, can't get there with his current, with his troops taking up all of his movement, so he'll move down here. If he moves down here, they're almost certainly going to go after him, so Talimanes just kind of chill and patrol the province for a little bit. While all the mages go over here to emphatically state their displeasure with the Shinuyama invasion. And yeah, that'll be the turn. I've got the lab going, I'm claiming the throne. Next turn I will start building a fort. You come down here to search for magic sites. You go over there to search for Death 2 sites, just to be thorough. You move... yeah, move in this general direction. Move in a that-ish way. If I wanted to be really confident, well, the 21 province defense here kind of sucks, to be honest. As does there. I'm only doing this because it's enough to force them to spend gems if they try to move. I was thinking that I could take my communion that I have here, because I have 4 Trophimos oppressors here and plenty of slaves. So I could move them. If I was willing to tank my research, I could move these guys to the Caverns of Gnek, and then if this army tried to retreat into the Caverns of Gnek, I could crush them. Instead, what I think I'll do is, I'm going to recruit some more infantry here. Just a little more. Because all I've got is archers at the moment. And then... I could summon an Ice Drake or a Gelatinous Cube, but those aren't terribly useful summons. What I would like is I would like to summon some Ogres, but that takes Earth Gems. And Earth Gems... tell you what, swap these Earth Gems out. Give them Fire Gems instead. Have them summon Fire Elementals. Yeah, Epidaros and Astros. Not Epidaros. There we go. So you're destructioning. You are going to summon Fire Elementals. And then throw Blade Wind. You are likewise going to summon fire elementals, and then throw Blade Wind if necessary. And then with those earth gems, what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon some ogres down here. So that if the enemy moves into Caverns of Gnek, I can patrol on this side. And with my patrol will be tough enough to stop them. If they try to move into this province, I'll be able to patrol. I'll have a few infantry. I'll have some ogres. I do have 15 infantry, 22 archers at the moment, but it's infantry that I need. Actually, just for holding purposes, Hoburg Militia would probably work fine. They run me out of gold. They only cost 2 less gold than these guys, though, so what the heck. So if this army, this force, rather, it's not really an army anymore, moves down to try and besiege Shepherd's Haven, by patrolling I'll be able to stop them. So, that's going to be it for the turn, and I will see you in turn 35. Things are going well. I've got 3 capitals, which is a great place to be for turn 35. That's solid. I'm going to be securing more and more of Shinuyama fairly rapidly here. It's not going to be too much of an issue, especially because this fort keeps getting besieged. I do have a few troops over here that I have to worry about, but they're only Ubas. And Ubas, while they are good utility and can summon a few elementals, don't have anything like the combat potential of Bakemono sorcerers. I've killed most of his Bakemono sorcerers at this point. He lost 2 there, he lost several last turn, he lost a couple down here last turn. He's not in a good place sorcerer-wise. Now, I've also lost most of my Phlegran tyrants. And so it's interesting because, in a way, I've lost more than him, because Phlegran tyrants can only be recruited in the capital, whereas Bakemono sorcerers can, I believe, be recruited in any fort. But the fact of the matter is, I've held on to all my territory, and in fact gained territory. I mean, obviously I have this army, but this is a temporary situation, as is this. Whereas he is never getting his capital back. I've held on to all of that, and he's lost his territory as well as forces. He's lost more forces total than I have. Than I have lost, that is. Not more than I have in total. And, Phlegran tyrants die. I mean, I guess that's my perspective towards them. Yeah, they're slow to recruit capital onlys. Yeah, you have a limited supply of them, but they exist only to do things, and sometimes those things are to die. By those tyrants meat shielding effectively for my communions, I've won battles. And due to the flexibility of Phlegran communions, I've won battles. The fact that I can shift seamlessly from thunderstriking to summoning elementals without having to swap out what mages I'm using is big, and it's a very big advantage of Phlegra over traditional communion-based nations or traditional communion-less elemental nations. So in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in turn 35. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Honor. It is turn 35. We hit Alteration level 5 and the end of our research queue, so I've changed our research. I want to reach Evocation level 6, which will give me Magma Eruption, which is a great multi-purpose spammable damage spell. It will also give me Bane Fire, which a Tyrant holding a staff could theoretically cast. Probably instead I'm going to use Tyrants holding staffs to summon things, so won't use that too much, but that is a step on the way up to level 7, which will give me Firestorm, which burns the whole battlefield, and Shimmering Fields, which does armor negating lightning damage in area of effect 50, which murders armies. It requires level 6 air, so I need at least 16 slaves and storm power in order to cast it. A little bit of a bummer, but certainly doable. Also, level 7 will give me Acid Storm, which showers the whole battlefield in acid. Very, very useful. And Rain of Stones. Now, Rain of Stones is not the spell it used to be. Rain of Stones used to be, like, absolutely devastating. Now it does capped damage, but what it can do is it can disrupt enemy casting, which is super, super useful. I will also, of course, murder my own troops, which is a little bit of a bummer, but doable, not impossible. And I'm probably going to go up Evocation even to level 8 to get Pillar of Fire, which is basically Thunderstrike Fire Edition. It does a lot of damage. It's only armor piercing, not armor negating, but it also does a lot of fatigue damage, which is armor negating. So Pillar of Fire, definitely worth getting. Excuse me. I will also at some point want to go up Conjuration a little further. I have level 5, which gives me some cool things, but I want to get up to level 7, at which point I can summon Mound Fiends, which are Death 3, and then I can hand them Death Staffs. They can reanimate undead, just as an action they can take. And if I hand them Skull Staffs and possibly Empower, then I can get up to Call a Wraith Lord, which is a pretty cool undead, especially because he is immortal. Also, if I were to summon a Mound Fiend, empower it, and hand it a Skull Staff, I could use it to forge the Skull Face, which is the other death booster, and it's a head slot. So I do want to go up Conjuration to level 7, but first I want to hit Evocation level 7, so that's what we're going for. My research is fairly low, and that is because lots of things have happened that have impelled me to move. So we took Lapintha, besieged the fortress there. Battle-wise, this is super boring. In Seren Forest, the enemy army attacked me, ran into my province defense. Now, this is interesting, and this indicates to me that I was right in saying that he has a scout with him. His Uba only is carrying 2 gems. So by carrying 2 gems, he ensures that this Uba will not try to cast Howl when he doesn't think there's going to be a big battle. And I presume that the others of her gems, because I think she still had 4 left, I presume they are being held by a Bakemono scout. So he went up against province defense here, cast a whole bunch of spells, and I think he actually beat the province defense before he went off script. He was summoning hordes of skeletons. I want to see if the Uba actually did use any of her gems. No, it looks like she's just spamming undead right now. If she managed to go off script, she might have. They're mainly just summoning undead and casting basic buffs right now. No gem use yet. She is actually fatigued out. Ah, there, she used a gem. Mina used a gem. Excellent. That is what I wanted. And did she use her second one? No, she's still fatigued out. And now she's casting Animate Skeleton. Okay, that's fine. So she used 1 gem. We accomplished that much. The Bakemono Sorcerers do not have any gems. So, that was fine. In Bright Woods, I was attacked by a stealth pack of Bakemono Sho, and they wiped out a little bit of province defense and took 3 casualties in the process. This is literally just a huge lump of crappy chaff. I mean, Bakemono Sho are actually, in some ways, worse than my chaff. That's a Bakemono Chief. This is a Bakemono Sho. They're pretty garbage, and they only have Protection 5. They took 3 casualties despite only being up against a pack of miserable slingers. Just because missiles hurt them so badly. So, that's fine. That's not a problem. It's just a little raiding force. I can deal with it. We took control of Phlegra. Again, they moved away, of course. An enemy fort in the province that has to be besieged and conquered. That is a bug. That is my fort. I do not have to besiege it or conquer it. In other... oh, and there was a battle in Gifa, where this army moved in to take that province, which had a bunch of my retreated troops sitting in it. If we view that battle, we can see that this is... It has an Uba. This army has an Uba scripted who is able to Howl. He didn't script Howl, clearly. And it has 1 sorcerer with a bunch of fire gems to summon fire elementals. But didn't need to because this army was already quite tough. And my armies are already routed. It's not a problem. He has these 2 Bakemono sorcerers up there as well, which are set up to Skelespam. So, that army is also running around. That's fine. So that army is right here. It's a fairly large army. It's not a hugely dangerous one. Not at the level of capacity that I'm currently at. So, this army is moving back into Shinuyama and patrolling in case he comes to try and hit Shinuyama, which I actually don't think he can because there's not heat on both sides. I hadn't noticed that. given that, I actually don't need to patrol in Shinuyama, so instead, why don't you capture slaves, you guys all research, and you lot move down here. And then this army can also move there. I'm leaving one scout to keep this fort besieged if he doesn't try to break out. We'll consolidate down here, so if he tries to move up this way, we'll catch him, and I think we should win this fight. Slab. Can Slab potentially get there? He can't. Yeah, so he might as well capture slaves. Aristotle might potentially die, but his Daibakemono here are almost entirely archers. And I have a decent number of fire elementals. I have my own howl. Yeah, that's basically it. Epidaros. What is Epidaros set to do? Oh, he's spamming destruction. Okay, well, fire elementals and destruction. There's worse things I could be casting. I don't have any earth gems, which is what I would like, or air gems, and I'll tell you why I would like those. Down here, capturing slaves, researching, building up. There's another communion forming here. I do have a good number of Trophimos oppressors. I need a couple more slaves, which I can get from here. Down here, I have quite a few slaves that are moving over here in order to just kind of be in position to do what they need to do. Tylimenes is moving here, as is Hulk Smash, in case this army dodges in this direction. And then we can catch them in Loreborough. Sokos does not need to be in Loreborough, but I mean, I guess, yeah, move down here, why not? I've built my lab here, and I'm beginning to recruit an adept of the Iron Order. It will take a long time, unless I can get a fort built, but I will start getting adepts of the Iron Order. Over here, all these guys are moving as a communion to the Caverns of Gnek. And if this army moves to the Caverns of Gnek, they're going to wipe it out, because they are scripted to... So they're going to buff up, first of all. Then the air guys with 16 slaves, who are air 5, are going to be casting Phantasmal Army, which summons, in their case, 30 Phantasmal Warriors, which are ethereal chaff that are hard to kill. So they're going to generate like 150, 180, actually, of them. These guys, meanwhile, are scripted to cast Maws of the Earth, which is a armor-piercing, damaging, large area of effect Earth spell. It does cost a gem, and it applies Earth Grip to the people that it hits. So the goal here is, he's going to probably try to spam skeletons and or howl. My Phantasmal Warriors, I have very little infantry and archers here. The archers are in the back, the infantry are split into two groups up at the front, where they can help defend me. But the Phantasmal Warriors, by spitting them out, I'm going to generate more than enough chaff. And the Earth, the Maws of the Earth, should pretty much crush his skeletons and infantry as they advance. My other option would be to summon Earth Elementals, which I could certainly do. I would worry a little bit more about the Skeleспam in that case. It would work. It wouldn't be too much of a problem. But I want to use Maws of the Earth. I think it'll be highly effective, and it won't hurt my Phantasmal Warriors because they are floating. So it literally does no damage to floating units. Fanon is moving into this province. If these guys move away, they're going to run into relatively heavy province defense and at least take a bunch more casualties. Crossbows here, archers here will hurt them significantly. If not, if they stay put, then Fanon is going to crush them with his 50 archers. And there's no need for these guys to move at all. If these guys try to cheekily duck back into Phlegra, they're going to run into my army almost certainly and be killed. So, overall, I think we are going to do pretty well. The only fly in the ointment, as it were, is that unrest in Phlegra is very, very high. So I'm going to actually patrol with Eurytus and the Hound of Twilight to bring unrest down. And I'm going to script Eurytus to retreat. So if he's attacked, he's going to run off the battlefield, and all these guys are going to be back here, and they are also going to retreat, so they will also survive. So I think those are basically going to be my moves. In other news, there was a battle in Ermor again for I think the 4th turn in a row. Agartha attacks Ermor. He has some great Olms, which he has summoned with the Middle-Age Agarthan spell that they can use. He has some of his Defenders of the Halls, he has some of his Shard Guard Sacreds, and he has a big pile of Magma Children. On the other side, Ermor is pretty much running out of troops. All he has pretty much here is basic skeletons. He has 1 Archbishop, 1 Censor, and 3 Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre. So this battle is very straightforward. Things charge in, they kill and die, and it is entirely the greater strength of Agarthan-Orem that wins the day here. They just kill all the skeletons. So, in Ermor, Agartha won. They lost about half their Magma Kids, but they wiped out the whole army, including the Censors. There were actually 3 Censors. I only saw 1. But they killed 2 of them, and the Archbishop, and all of the Sacreds that were here. So, good job. Overall, an excellent trade. In Isurian, Pythium just hit some independents who had retaken a province from him through a random event with some Principes. In Ulm, Agartha attacked Ulm and lost. Agartha, I have to say it, I like Agartha. I've talked with him a lot. I'm playing with him in some other games. He's not very good at scripting castle assaults. In this case, he's going up against an Ulmian fortress which has crossbowmen with these arbalests up on top of the castle, which do a lot of armor-piercing damage. And they have some chaff summoned inside. They do have some infantry of Ulm and a few mages, including Violante the Locksmith, who is a special national hero added by the Worthy Heroes mod, who has astral magic. They've got a crossbowman there, they've got a Master Mason, and a Priest-Smith casting Iron Blizzard. So this is what Iron Blizzard does. A lot of damage over a wide area, and it's easy to cast. So, the Agarthan Sacreds move in, and they're getting absolutely pounded by Magma and by Iron Blizzard, and taking a lot of casualties as they mass up in the entrance. All the Ulmian troops have to do is keep them still, while the Iron Blizzard slaughters them. And look at how much he can cast that. Since he's 2 Earth and Iron Blizzard only requires 1 Earth, he could cast it, I think, 5 times before he fatigued out, even with no reinvigoration whatsoever. They also have more Priest Smiths up here. So these 4 Priest Smiths casting Iron Blizzard wiped out, I want to say, half the Agarthan infantry. And as soon as they wake up, they're going to cast it again. The armies of Agartha have now been routed, it says, although the Shard Guard don't seem to show that. But yeah, the armies of Agartha are routed. I think one of the Priest Smiths was showing routed as well. Yeah, one of the Priest Smiths is routed, but it's not going to stop them. So now, as the Agarthans run, they're probably going to take another Iron Blizzard in the back as soon as these guys wake up. Yep. There it goes. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but it's killing off the ones who were earth melded down. Yep. Ooh, maybe that gets somebody? Nope. Okay. So, yeah. Iron Blizzard alone held the fortress there. The Shard Guards, almost all of those casualties were Iron Blizzard. 45 kills on 7 Priest Smiths, 2 of whom died. And a lot of the Ulmish units died as well. But the province defense will regenerate, and they still have 5 Priest Smiths, so this army is probably not going to be able to take Ulm. There was also a battle in the Grain Coast. Pythium's army attacked. This is just a big pile of infantry. Its strength is 111 Principe. And they just walked in and rolled over everything. That's just what they did. So they've taken the fortress of the Grain Coast away from Ermor. So Pythium is now quite big and scary. That, I think, is going to be the turn. I'm recruiting down here. I'm recruiting mages over here. I'm recruiting mages here. I'm recruiting oppressors here, actually. Or no, am I recruiting sages? Yeah, I'm recruiting sages here. That's fine. This army, I'm basically just trying to cut it off. So if it goes here, it's going to run into a communion and die. If it stays here, my communion is going to hit it and it dies. If it goes to any of these provinces, it'll live, but its options are going to be continuously constrained. So if it goes here, for example, it can then go only to this province, or that province. My communion will chase it. It can go that way or that way. This communion from here will go back over here. Then if it goes here, it's stuck. Oh, I need to move my scouts. Have I been forgetting to move these scouts? Oh dear. Let's launch them across the world. Yeah, I have a couple turns worth of scouts I haven't moved. Whoopsie. Let's get them going. I can hunt it down over time. It will take time. I'm recruiting another tyrant, which is good. I do have some excess gear sitting around. Not a whole lot, but a couple of skull staffs and stuff. What I'd like would be another Death 2 tyrant that I can give a skull staff to in order to summon some cool stuff. Slab Brickjaw actually could do death summons. I don't have great death summons right now. He could cast Arouse Hunger. Ooh, he could cast Arouse Hunger. Now that is a thought. Or Blight. So Arouse Hunger has a range of 5. That fort is still under siege. If I cast Arouse Hunger here, that would help keep this fort under siege. Or I could use it to take provinces. It's a magic phase attack. Now this force here is Die Bakemonos and Ubas with a Bakemono Sorcerer. So that's actually a fairly... I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna have these guys move over here and patrol just to make sure that Shinuyama won't fall to this army. Because this is actually an army. It's a small army, but it is an army. Slab Brickjaw is going to cast... I could cast Arouse Hunger inside my own fort, but instead I'm going to cast it over... Tell you what. Let me cast Arouse Hunger here in Gnome Peaks. That way that'll be sure to kill them if they move to this province. And this province has enough province defense to beat them, I think. So that will shut down this group unless they go back stealthy immediately. Actually, maybe not. I could cast it on Gifa and take Gifa back. Or I could cast it over... Yeah, let's just use it to keep taking provinces, to be honest. Let's cast it over here. Actually, let's cast it on the Grey Forest. I don't think he's forted the province yet, or anything. Let's see if we can take the Grey Forest with 20 ghouls. Well, let's go move a scout into the province first. And I will cast Arouse Hunger on that province, which is probably making him some money. Basically, keeping him from making money is what I want to do at this point. Oh, no. Never mind. Speaking of costing him money. If I can keep him from making any money, his troops will start to desert. His commanders won't, but his troops will start to leave, which will make dealing with him a lot easier. He has no forts at this point active, so he can't recruit any more mages right now. So yeah, Shinuyama is absolutely dead, but he definitely does seem committed to causing me as much pain as possible on the way down, which is fair. I respect that. That's part of how you play the game. What I don't want is I don't want him to go over here and then attack the Steppe of Wild Horses. I think... Let me just check something real quick, because I think... 14 map move. 14 map move cannot reach the Steppe of Wild Horses in one turn. I can reach the Steppe of Wild Horses in one turn from there, though. So... just to be sure, just to be on the safe side, I'm actually going to tank my research a little further to move everybody down there. Yeah, my research drops to almost nothing when I do that, but I've hit good research goals. I have strong magic. I don't need more research right this second. What I need is to stop these Bakemono from running around stealing my income. And I need to take more provinces from him. So I'll take that province with ghouls. It has no province defense, so that's fine. I'll take this province pretty soon. I'll take that province back from Nazca. Get the fire gem income. My fire gem income is pretty decent. I'll take that province back with this army. I will move this army, no, over there. You need to move and patrol. I'll patrol here to defend this province. This army, I'm not sure where they're going to jump. They may well jump over here, actually. So, yeah, go take that. And that'll be fine. Alright, so that's going to be the turn, and I think I will see you next time. I'm going to play with my scripting in this army as well. Since I do have Maws of the Earth, that's a good general purpose spell I can use, especially against an army like this that has a lot of units. Maws of the Earth could be extremely effective. But we will see what's what next time, turn 36. See you then. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is turn 36 of Honor, and today is going to be a very quiet turn. Because my cold, or whatever it is, has gotten into my throat and makes it somewhat painful to speak loudly. So, let's go over what's happened in the turn. We cast Arouse Hunger, and took control of the province of Ostmark with our ghouls. Fortunately, there was no resistance because we summoned only 6 sad ghouls. And ghouls aren't very good. They do have this paralyzing poison thing. Its magic resistance negates. Can be useful, but only in very large numbers. However, they still took the province. Didn't find any magic sites in the Steppe of Wild Horses. Not unexpected. And there's a new prophet of Uruk. Now, interesting things. There was a battle in Ulm. Uruk attacked Ulm, so apparently they've made some kind of an agreement with Agartha. Or possibly they've gone to war with Agartha, I don't know. In any case, their army is primarily the Enkidu Iron Warriors, with a smidgen of standard Enkidu warriors added in, and some archers. At least there were some arrows flying around. Yeah, they also have some Enkidu archers. Up on the other side, there is a priest smith, a few crossbows. The priest smith is throwing Iron Blizzard, but it's not likely to inflict a huge amount of damage, just because Enkidu are giants with a lot of hit points. I think he killed 1 or 2 with that Iron Blizzard. Yep, looks like he is getting some kills. Iron Blizzard is a very nasty spell. It doesn't do quite so much when it goes straight into guys with shields and heavy armor, though. And now he's fatigued out after his casts. And they're all going to be murdered by angry giants. Great. So yeah, the Priest Smith got 3 kills, but other than that, Ulm is making a big play to control... I'm sorry, Uruk is making a big play to control Ulm, which is fine. I would rather Uruk have Ulm than Agartha, because of course Ulm's capital is a capital with gem income, and I would rather have those spread out. Agartha already is going to have 3, so much rather he didn't have 4. In Nazca, Tianxi attacked the independents who were besieging the place, and they wiped out the wolves with no casualties. This is a fairly significant army. Let's actually view the battle just to look at the army. So they have their god, Jackie Chan, the Earth Serpent, and he's fairly well equipped. He has 5 points of Earth magic, he's wearing a Ring of Regeneration, has some Earth Gems to summon elementals or something. Of course he has Recuperation, as all Earth Serpents do, and he has quite a bit of experience, so he has killed some people. On top of that, most of their army is made up of Imperial Crossbowmen, which are heavily armored crossbow units, and standard archers, which are relatively cheaper archer units, but still useful in this age. He has 1 Imperial Geomancer, Earth and Astral Cross Paths, and he has 1 Imperial Alchemist, one of their expensive capital-only alchemist units that can heal diseases, is a better alchemist, and has a variety of magical paths. On the other side, of course, just some wolves. Well, that was easy. And then something hilarious happened. You see, Nazca sallied. And what did they sally with? Can you see it? I have trouble seeing it. It's a demi-lich. It's their god. Nazca's god sallied out of his defenses. A pile of bones, the Demi-Lich. This is a true rainbow. He has 3 or 4 points in everything. Blessing-wise, you can see the bless that gave him. Pretty significant bless, but not terribly important to a Demi-Lich. Demi-Liches, of course, have a chassis that is just absolute garbage, but high magic resistance. They're cheap, and they're slash, pierce, resistant, and invulnerable 30. So while their protection says 3 against mundane attacks, it's actually 30. This is important, and you'll see why. So it's the Demi-Lich versus the world. Has little by way of research, has no gems. They're all casting buffs and getting ready to go in. He's just summoning single skeletons and undead who are getting shot down by archers. And here comes Jackie Chan, the Earth Serpent. Now, Jackie Chan has been buffed. He is ethereal, so 75% of attacks miss. However, he is desiccated, so he's taking extra fatigue every round of combat because the pile of bones casts desiccation on him. Doesn't matter much because he also has 4 points of reinvigoration, on top of his etherealness, meaning he's very, very hard to hit, and of course he regenerates damage. But watch to see what happens here. He's going to go into melee combat with the Demi-Lich, and that would be fine, except even buffed, due to the Dominion penalty, his strength is only 27, which means his attack does only 25 damage. And then it has Death Poison, but Death Poison does not affect Demi-Liches who have 32 poison resistance. So Jackie Chan charges in. First of all, wait for it. First of all, he gets hit by Decay. And now he's decaying, so now he's taking damage and aging every combat round. On top of that, because his magic resistance is only 16, this is a weakness of the Earth Serpent. On top of which, he's going to go into combat now. You can see he's taking decay damage. And the Demi-Lich starts doing that. He starts casting Hand of Death, very basic death spell, very low research, just does a whole bunch of magical damage to things in melee contact. And Jackie Chan is not resistant to magical damage. So he gets killed by the Hand of Death. And then a pile of bones goes back to stupidly animating single undead until the Tianqi archers start to run out of ammunition, and they charge forward along with some phantasmal warriors, and they finish him off. 2 kills, and one of them is Tianqi's god. Now that is value for money. There was also a battle in Holberg. Vanheim's fort had been besieged by a tiny little rebellion. This, we get to see the, what I have to believe is the main army of Vanheim for the first time. So, Vanheim's army, he has a line of Einheers at the front. Berserkers, very tough units. The main killing power of this army is Vans. He has a large number of them. They have extremely high defense skills as cavalry. They're glamored, they're stealthy, they're sacred, they have 2 attacks plus a javelin. They're extremely powerful units. Not as good as the Vanheers of early Vanheim, but still good. Especially when he casts his Blessing, and they get magic weapons, reinvigoration, magic resistance, some extra HP, strength, blood surge, and dark vision. We can see here that Vanheim also went for a rainbow pretender, which is interesting. I did not know there were so many rainbows in this game. So this is just a complete little garbage force over here that doesn't even have any commanders, so they try to run. They can't quite get away before the Vans and cavalry catch up to them. But they tried. Bless their little hearts. He also had 4 Van Herses, which are the cheap, low magic commander. Only 1 Van Jarl, which is the magically useful elven commander. 3 Fey Boars, who are not powerful in combat, but are immortal, which is nice. Some Herdmen, who are basic infantry. Some Huskarls, who are even basicer infantry. And some summoned ogres, as well as a few skin shifters, who regenerate and turn into werewolves when badly injured, along with 50 Vans. So a very significant force, a very dangerous force, especially because many of them can't be seen. In Ban-Kish, I moved in and wiped out province defense. That is this province here, with the throne. Wrong button. In Shinuyama, a few Bakemono sorcerers and Ubas attacked me. I had anticipated they would do this, and I'd moved my communion back. So, the communion just overwhelms them. I cast Howl. The only thing they have going for them is Skelespam, and it's not enough. Their skeletons are distracted by the wolves, and then my units move in and massacre them. Props especially go to this air elemental, who achieved, I think it was almost 30 kills by the end of the battle. Just by trampling people. Look at him go. Oh, there it is, 30. Battle's not even quite over yet. Now the battle's over. Let me see what he got. 32 kills. Good job, air elemental. You always were my favorite. So, we spent quite a few gems, but we wiped out a significant number of mages, a significant investment, 1,000 gold of Bakemono sorcerers alone, plus the Ubas and a few Dai Bakemono, for no actual casualties, which I think is very valuable. We took control of the Bright Woods, just by moving our troops in. In Sinafi, this little army that's been running away from me after besieging my capital wiped out my province defense. In the process, however, so you see they're still scattered around, they have their gear and all that stuff, and they have this one Uba who has one nature gem remaining. So they followed their usual technique, spamming out skeletons. In the process of this battle, however, the Uba used her last nature gem. So this force is now effectively neutered. It already was because it couldn't howl, but this has confirmed to me that he probably does not actually have a scout carrying nature gems nearby. So, excellent. We took control of Saren Forest. Some of those Bakemono shows moved to attack Gnome Peaks and were defeated by my increased province defense. This is only about half of the Bakemono shows that I noticed, however. Half of them are still at large. So, that's interesting, and it is a situation we're going to have to deal with. Bakemono shows are just so awful, basically, that my province defense of independent infantry was able to destroy them fairly easily. In Cormark, Shinuyama attacked some independents with 2 Ubas. These are the barbarians that have been besieging their fortress. They did lose all 4 of their Dai Bakemonos. They had 2 Ubas there, and let's see what those Ubas are equipped with. Death Gems and Death Gems. So what are they doing? They're using their Death Gems to cast Horde of Skeletons. Interesting. So I don't need to be too afraid of this fortress because they don't appear to have Howl available. Their technique here was just Horde of Skeletons. And the barbarians, to their credit, fought very, very bravely and managed to cut through quite a number of the skeletons before they were eventually overwhelmed. Yeah, you can see they got 23 kills, of which 5 were actual units. Okay, so Cormark is fairly weak. In Ostmark, I was actually attacked by Tianxi. Yeah, this was an unfortunate collision. Tianxi sent a very token force to go and try to take over this province. They ran into the 18 ghouls that I had summoned with Arouse Hunger. And 8 Horse Brothers was almost enough to kill 18 ghouls and a ghoul commander, but not quite. You can see ghouls are really, honestly and truly, quite bad units. But they do have this ability to fatigue people out, and that's when they start actually doing damage. And after we killed a couple, they ran away because the unit size was so small. So, that worked out fine. I will have to contact Tianxi, kind of apologize for that. He's besieging Nazca here, of course. Just lost his god doing so, but he killed the enemy god at the same time. There's significant province defense here in the Grey Forest, so I could cast Arouse Hunger on it, but I don't think it would pay off. Instead, I'm casting Arouse Hunger on Cormark, the fortress here, just to keep it locked down and prevent him from recruiting mages at any real speed. The longer I can keep Shinuyama from recruiting mages, the happier I'll be, especially because I'm very confident that at this point he has little income. These water provinces are probably giving him the majority of his income, and unfortunately it's going to be difficult for me to break in. He does still have a lot of dominion, and I haven't seen his god yet. I don't know where his god could be, possibly in Lapintha, but more likely his god is stealthy at this point. That's all I can think of that would explain this the situation. So we're recruiting a few more infantry here. Down here, this army has put itself into a trap because, since I know that they can't howl, I know that they're fairly weak. So, this army, this communion, and Alcathus's troops, as well as a few more troops led by various commanders, are moving down to Digmore, where they might move. Alectos, alone with his army, is charging straight in. The only thing they have in their bag of tricks is skeleton spam. And his troops can handle that, especially because he will summon 3 fire elementals before he attacks. 3 fire elementals, plus this number of infantry and Giganti warriors will be able to carve through a huge number of skeletons, and the Bakemono sorcerers shouldn't be able to stop them. Meanwhile, this army and this communion will move over here to Loreborough. I have them all set up. How many slaves did I have again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I think I'm 1 short. I don't have them set up to howl or anything, because I don't need it. I'm just dealing with skeletons once again. So, Thunder Strikes, that's about all I'm bringing to the table. To be honest, I should change that because I am going to need some elementals to form the front lines. So I have a lot of fire gems. So we're going to give everybody 3 fire gems. 3 fire gems, 3 fire gems. That's fine. And then we have a number of archers. Will be effectively fire 4. So we're going to Iron Skin, Earth Power, Mist Form, Mirror Image. Then you are going to cast let's get Flaming Arrows up. Then summon a couple of fire elementals. Why don't you just go straight into summoning fire elementals? And then at the end, you can drop a Thunderstrike or 2. You, up here, you're summoning Earth Power, which is great. And then summon some fire elementals. And naturally, Thunderstrike. And you were dropping Acid Rain, but I think it would be more useful for you to summon fire elementals, to be honest. And then you can cast Then I suppose you might as well cast Acid Rain. So these gentlemen will be up front, right like this. We'll space them out. Let's move the archers back a little bit so we can afford to space them out enough that the fire elementals can maneuver around them effectively, since fire elementals are quite large and fiery. There we go. Pardon me. So, that will work just fine, I think. And, that will be the end. Next turn should be the end of this army, unless they have a trick that they have not shown me yet, which I doubt they have. No matter where they go, they will be destroyed. They can't go to this province, because this province has a river crossing that cannot be crossed, since I have a heat domain. If they move back, they'll run into Electos. If they move down here, they'll run into this communion and troops. And if they move over here, they will run into this communion and these troops. So I think it will all go pretty well. This army is a little bit of a wild card. This is the only force of strength remaining of Shinuyama's armies. Other than this, they don't really have anything left on the board. They have a few Bakemono Sho loose somewhere in my territory. However, those remaining Bakemono Shos should be not up to the task of taking out about 12 to 15 province defense. So this province is really the only one that could be considered vulnerable to them. I'm not too worried about it. Shouldn't be a problem. These provinces over here, they might also be able to raid one or two away from me, but even against 6 province defense, they will take casualties, they will suffer attrition. So once again, not very worried. Up here, I don't have much by way of magical resources in place at the moment. Pronos is capturing slaves, which is fair. I am summoning another Revenant. Actually, you should cast Dark Knowledge, and you should create a Revenant, because I do have an extra Skull Staff sitting around going unused at the moment. So I'll create a Revenant, give him the Skull Staff. Of course, my Tyrant here might come out with 2 levels of death, in which case I will give him the Skull Staff and have put him to work. In any case, this army is actually going to sit still for 1 turn. Yes, conceding the initiative a little bit, but what I want to do is I want to sit still and research for just 1 turn to push me up nearly to evocation level 6. I'm arousing hunger on this fort to keep it locked down. This fort is probably going to be freed next turn. I'm moving Aristotle's detached raiding force out of this area to combine it with Pronos. Pronos and Aristotle cannot defeat this army by themselves. This is quite a significant army, but we're actually going to maintain the siege with you, and we will just set you to retreat. That will be fine. It's possible that Aristotle is about to die, and one way to obviate that would be to take the troops and move them down here to Dunster, and then move Aristotle himself separately. Actually, I think I may do that. Because Aristotle... he only has map move 18 because of these 2 Gigante warriors. Alright, I'm actually going to abandon the Gigante warriors. Aristotle is going to go rogue / solo. So he's going to hit this province, and from there, he'll have a little bit more freedom to move. Other geopolitical news. Ashdod has gone AI, and that is because Tianxi and Abyssia hit him simultaneously from all sides. So Arcocephale is under siege, other provinces have been taken, the capital of Ashdod, which is over here somewhere and I have actually never seen, has also allegedly fallen. So that being so, Ashdod is out of the picture, and to be honest, with Ashdod out of the picture, the number of great powers is definitely getting smaller. If we look at Pretenders of the World, Arcocephale, Celeria, Marignan have all been fully defeated. Ermor has gone AI. His fort, his capital is under siege, and it looks like he's not going to be able to pull off another come-from-behind win against Agartha. Ulm, of course, went AI. Nazca is AI, and Phasia is AI, though still technically alive somewhere, somehow. They still have this fort, I guess, and they're besieging this place somehow. It's a little bit confusing, to be fully honest. Oh no, that's Ulm besieging a Phasian fort. Yeah, okay. Well, in any case, there's really fewer and fewer competitors. Jackie Chan, I do not think is going to win. I think they're struggling. Not that they don't have territory and all, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Shinuyama, of course, is effectively defeated and will be fully defeated in probably the next... I don't want to be too optimistic, but let's say the next 6 to 10 turns, we'll see Tamamo no Mei removed from the map effectively. Expletive deleted. Ashdod doesn't read as AI yet, but will be AI soon. He's told me that he's sent in the AI orders. Uruk I actually don't know much about. Uruk does clearly have armies, certainly in the sense that they have attacked Ulm here, but Uruk is a new player, and I think they may not have a great grip on battle magic yet. Like this army, at this stage in the game, an army of this size should have a lot more magic than this. It looks to me like they've pretty much just got commanders, except for this one Enkidu shaman. So that being so, maybe they're just not deploying their mages where I can see them, which is, you know, fine. That's a perfectly valid strategy. But it's interesting. I'm not sure they're a big competitor, especially because they seem very long and skinny, which doesn't actually add up to a huge amount of territory unless they're down here. But I think this is all Abyssian territory. Now, Abyssia is clearly quite large, because Abyssia has this, but they also have this. So this land here is all within the Abyssian circuit somehow, and I'm not sure how they're shaped, but with Ashdod going AI, I can't help but think that they are going to get much bigger in relatively short order. On top of that, Tianxi has moved incredibly rapidly and exploded up through all of these Ashdod provinces, which makes me also think that probably these are going to fall into Tianxi's control. So Tianxi is fairly large. Abyssia is large. And Abyssia is a scary late-game nation because they have blood and they have astral. And they have blood-astral cross-paths. Agartha is a fairly strong nation in a fairly strong position, but to be honest, I don't think they're the largest. And of course, there's me. I'm in a decent position. I would not say I'm a favorite to win this game at this point. I'm on the board. I have a fairly compact territory. And I'm not sure size-wise exactly how it compares. Just from eyeballing it, I think I'm about the size of Tianxi. Excuse me again. Just from eyeballing it, I think I'm about the size of Tianxi. And I flatter myself that I'm a little more powerful. My battle communions are very difficult to stop, to be perfectly frank. So we'll kind of see how that goes. There's also Pythium. And Pythium I think I rate as one of the tier 2 powers, but still a power, still definitely on the board. I don't know what this army is doing. It looks like it's moving north from Pythium. And if it's moving north, then that's fine. I've been thinking about attacking Vanheim, and I've been talking about that occasionally. To be honest, overall, I'm going to wait. I've talked with Vanheim. I'm going to wait until somebody else attacks them. Fighting through these two forts would be hugely annoying. And I'm kind of using them as a buffer state, as I said. So we'll see what goes on there. Certainly, while I finish eating Shinuyama, I'm not going to be attacking anyone. But that is the turn 36, and I will see you all in turn 37, when hopefully we crush this annoying little army, and then we can redirect our attention to crush this one. Especially if we can unite our two communions, I really don't see how they stop us. If we get a 32 slave communion going, so that all of our masters are level 6, and we have like 10 masters casting, I mean, I don't need it. That's not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. To be honest, a big communion like that is just inefficiently and unwieldily large. You don't need the path boost at that point. But it would be kind of cool. So, in any case, I will see you in the next turn, as we will continue devouring Shinuyama, and then kind of decide where we're moving next. Take care.